Al, I believe when we were watching this episode,
Mm-hmm.
you basically just described it as a panic the episode, like crisis the episode,
Yep. Anxiety the
anxiety the episode,
episode.
because there is the age-old adage of when something goes wrong, everything goes wrong,
It's just like a waterfall.
or like a dam breaking.
It could be that too, yeah.
I thought that's where you were going, and then I was like, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
I I'm not good at metaphors.
Sure, let's go with that.
I'm not. I'm just
That's why we're a team.
yes.
And as a team, we come collectively together to form a semi-functional human being.
Semi is a keyword there, yes. We do okay.
Hello, welcome to this week's episode of Jared and Al Watch SHIROBAKO. I'm Jared, joined as always by Doc Al and Ladium.
Hello.
This is episode number 3. It's where we're watching the episode entitled No More Recap Episodes. Get rid of them.
Bye-bye.
They are banned. Because things are having some trouble. And if they are not fixed, could have the dreaded recap episode. Oh
Da-ba-bum.
no. Don't want that. So coming off hot off the heels of last week, they are changing a scene in episode 4. They're doing retakes on it because essentially the voice actress in that scene delivered a more powerful performance than the animation had at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going back and they're going to redo those cuts and basically have it match up with the voice acting, which I thought was like an interesting problem to have, where like you have like, you know, the animation's already done and everything, and then like the voice acting comes in and it's like, oh wow, this is way better for the scene. We need to basically change this in order to have it fit that instead of what we had originally.
Mm-hmm.
And especially because, you know, like the whole adage of most of the time the animation's probably done or getting close to done by the time they're doing voiceover. Like that just seems like it would be a hugely problematic thing. But also, I did a piece last year about voice actors doing improv
Mm-hmm.
during specific scenes and stuff like that, and just
You
like
did.
the idea of like having to probably go back and do animation for that specific stuff as well would be a very challenging problem to have, but probably one that you're like looking at like, okay, yeah, this is the smart way to do this because like this works in the specific scene, so we should probably have it match up with that. But it does definitely seem like something that would be problematic because of the stress it would put on everyone else and be like, okay, we have to redo all this, we have to change how this looks and all that sort of stuff. It's a good, in a way it's a good and a bad problem to have, because it's a good problem like, oh well, this makes this better, but at the same time it's a bad problem because, oh god, we are still under huge time crunches, and oh god, are we going to be able to make this and everything.
And thus anxiety the episode.
Yes, because basically they have to do all that, and then just everything kind of just falls apart in other ways as well.
Mm-hmm.
I always kind of getting just like the pressure of having to do. She's doing this 4th episode and also the a later episode, the 9th episode, which is having some problems in and of itself because she does not have all the cuts she needs, because some of the freelance animators they're using are just haven't got the stuff in yet, or just haven't started working on it yet, and it's just like she is having a very rough time of things.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this episode in particular, it's like a couple episodes because we watched 3, 4, and 5 in a row, and we talked about this in the first 2 episodes, but like, man, just watching all of this now with like the context of crunch culture in 2019 is just
A little gross.
yeah. Like,
Yeah.
obviously this was a thing. Like, this doesn't become a new thing in Japan of all things just now or anything, but like I felt like when I watched this show originally and like subsequent rewatches of it, like I wasn't as cognizant of crunch culture as I am now.
Yes, I am also was not aware of crunch culture as much until like recently. And so if I had watched this when it originally came out,
You wouldn't have thought like you would think like, oh well, like that is Japan because they have a culture of that type of work ethic and all that sort of stuff.
right.
It wouldn't have come to the idea of like this is a very unhealthy work environment. Like what is going on? Like you would think if this was made today, I feel like part of this would be just like a slap in the face to the anime industry as a whole. Be like, hey, this is bad. Like we
Yeah.
need to shape up with this. Like I don't know how much of that was PA Works' intention when they made this originally, a few years back, but
Would that be super controversial to do though?
I would imagine it would be, yeah.
I would too.
But it is an interesting thing. I think that's going to be something we are going to keep talking about as we go through this show in general. Just
Crunch culture?
how just how this show basically shows crunch culture and just the ways that it is so just bad in general.
Yeah, it's real not great. And it's very upsetting and also, again, anxiety inducing. So, me as a person watching it was even anxious, and this wasn't my job.
Yeah.
I know that like they are fictional, but like this happens to real people.
It is rough.
Rough, buddy.
So Aoi has to go through trying to find where her cuts are. One of the people she's trying to get a hold of just isn't answering the phone all night, which is another thing. They are working basically through the night on this. Just oof.
Yeah.
Big oof. Eventually she gets a hold of him like the next morning and he's just like, yeah, I could do this. I've done worse. And then like he tries to work on it and he's like, I have no
Inspiration.
inspiration. And she's like, what do you mean?
What happened to the one who said he did it in like 9 hours?
She gets some other frames and stuff, but Aoi inadvertently sends them off to the wrong people. She has to go grab those, retrieve them, and basically send them off to the right department. And she's just like, she's not having a good time.
Everything that could go wrong goes wrong. Sad.
Some of the frames she's trying to get arrive late because the delivery truck that has it is going through is like on a road that's having construction and everything, so it is not on time, and she is freaking out about that.
Mm-hmm.
The server, like obviously, it makes sense. And then they're also trying to get episode 4 on air, like getting it all ready to go to get ready to put on air. They have to send it out to another company to basically kind of go through the checks and everything and put in the new cuts for that scene specifically that they redid. The day before it is set to be sent to the network, they get a call. Like they're like, "Hey, we're having issues with our server trying to upload this. Is everything all right on your end?" And they're like, nope, everything's bad. The server has gone out, and we can't get a hold of the people who own the server. And oh my god, what are we going to do? They're like, well, we could try and download it just locally. And they're like, no, this would take like 20 hours. We do not have that time. They eventually get a hold of like the manager ahead of the server place. And like the server is fried. Mm-hmm. Like it's done. And they don't know how long that's going to take. This leads their manager. She literally just like hears all these things going down, makes a phone call, and it like hangs up. And she's like, "All right, so I called the company. The head of the company is going to bring us their hard drive, and we will get it that way." And they're like, thank you. So like the head of this company like brings over a hard drive to let them get it off of there and basically get it all set to go so they can send it to networks and like actually like watch it before it goes. They send it to networks and all that sort of stuff. The president gives this dude some food and he's like, "Yay, food!"
It's like my favorite thing about that president is he just feeds everybody and he's always so happy to do it. Mm-hmm. He's just a very positive person.
He runs this company and he doesn't have to work or anything. He just makes food for everyone.
Yeah,
it's real nice.
I mean, like, the fact that his company is participating in this like crunch culture is not great, but he's feeding them and being nice, I guess. So it could have been worse, but like also don't do that to your employees.
We'll get some backstory on him later in
Okay.
the later
I
in the
was
series.
hoping so, because otherwise he's just like this weird enigma of a president.
Pretty
who
much
makes
all of
these-
the characters like you will see more like you see prominently throughout the show will get backstories. Like the manager who seems like she can just do whatever, she gets backstory, and her backstory is interesting.
I'm so glad though that they keep reintroducing everybody, because that helps me a lot.
There is. I mean, it's the thing. Like there are so many characters on this show. Like how do you keep track of them all
Yeah.
outside of like the main characters? Because there are so many side characters scattered throughout this entire series, and there will continue to be. There will be new ones introduced throughout the rest of the series. So
Are you serious?
yeah.
Oof.
We have not met all of the characters in this series, obviously, because we're 3 episodes in. But like, yeah, there's gonna be a lot more characters to come through. Like, there's gonna be, like, when we get halfway through, they're gonna split off and do another series. And there will be new employees coming in. So like, it's going to like it keeps going and expanding.
People who have listened to us either on this podcast or the other podcast know how terrible I am at remembering names.
Mhm.
So like this one's gonna be a nightmare for me to remember who anybody is.
I mean, like, to be fair, like, I think it's mostly like you're supposed to just kind of know like the people that show up the most.
Yeah.
You will begin to like know who they are specifically, and those are the ones you're going to kind of focus in on. Like some of the side characters like may show up a handful of times here and there, and they just might be like just for a scene or two, or brought in for like a specific like thing that they need to work on and whatnot. But
I feel like that like dopey dude with the mohawk will probably be around a bit.
yes, he's going to be around for like the majority of the series.
Yeah, I'll just keep calling him dopey dude with a mohawk.
So yeah, basically everything eventually kind of goes the way that they need it to go. They're able to get episode 4 to air. Things with episode 9 kind of calm down in a way that Aoi gets to like take a literal breather. Like there's literally a scene where she's just like staring off into like she like breaks down.
Yeah.
She goes into the kitchen and starts just like cleaning teacups that are like already cleaned, and it's just like tea stains. I hate tea stains. I gotta get rid of all these tea stains. And one of the other production assistants, Erica, like sees her and she's like, you have to get out of here. We need to go to the roof. We're going to get you calmed down. We're going to get you back on track and to figure out what you need to do to get everything just kind of back in the flow of things. So you're not just like
cleaning teacups
and losing your mind.
Yeah.
Like just, oof. This
Yikes.
episode's rough.
Yeah. Yeah, it was hard to watch it.
Like
It
if you
was-
ever want
it was
to
a
if you ever
lot.
want to know why there's burnout in the anime industry, like
Here you go.
this is a prime example of that. Because it's not great, but that's pretty much this episode in a nutshell.
Anxiety.
Anxiety, the episode, is a good way to describe this. So next time we will be discussing episode number 4. It is called "I Totally Messed Up." Things are gonna go bad.
As indicated by the title.
Yeah. So if you'd like more from us, go to seasonlanguagecheckup.com or sac.cool is where you can find past episodes of this podcast and other podcasts like Season Language Checkup and Season Language Checkup OVA. You can also find columns and reviews on the site as well. If you'd like more from Ann Ladium, go to annladium.com. She's got columns and reviews. And you can follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/anime checkup. That's where we do the Twitter.
Mhm.
So next time, join us as we dive into episode number 4, where someone's
mess
going to
up.
mess up.
Yeah, we mess up.